Hello, in this video, I am talking about my hero, come Guru, Professor M.S. Rangachari, the legendary mathematics professor. Professor M.S. Rangachari started his career in Tamil Nadu government sector. During his service, he was not limited with only routine work, but he showed much interest in pure mathematics and algebra. He happened to meet another legendary mathematics professor, namely C.T. Rajagopal, former director of Ramanujam Institute for Advanced Study in Mathematics, University of Madras. Professor C.T. Rajagopal is known as Professor CTR. Hereafter, we will use his name like that. Professor CTR noted the great interest of Professor M.S. Rangachari in mathematics, and then he took him as student to work in sequences, series, and summability methods, even though Professor M.S. Rangachari was showing interest in algebra. Later on, Professor M.S. Rangachari told that he did a wonderful thing in the field of sequence, series, summability as suggested by Professor C.T. Rajagopal. Then, after some years, Professor M.S. Rangachari got PhD degree from University of Madras under the guidance of Professor C.T. Rajagopal, and he was appointed in Ramanujan Institute for Advanced Study in Mathematics. Then gradually he was elevated as reader, professor, and finally he reached the utmost position at the institute as director of the institute. He was also working as co-worker, that is coordinator for UGC Council for curriculum development. Professor M.S. Rangachari, his thesis was on Tauberian theorems, and his famous papers later on medieval Kerala mathematics collaborated with his guru, Professor C.T. Rajagopal, and it was published by Springer in 1986. In 1988, Proceedings of International Conference on Periodic Analysis, Summability Theory, Fuzzy Analysis and Applications in honor of Professor M.S. Rangachari, published in 1999 in English, held by World CAT member libraries worldwide. Also, the Mathematical Reviews author in Index published 1961, Professor M.S. Rangachari had 36 publications at the time in the domain of sequence, series, and summability methods. His papers on Tauberian theorems for logarithmic summability, 1964, was his masterpiece, which he published along with another professor, Y. Sitharaman. Also, his results on generalized linear methods and gap Tauberian remainder theorems are world famous. He was also showing interest in approximate theory on summability of Fourier series. Thus, Professor M.S. Rangachari started his service as a government servant in Tamil Nadu government and became a legendary mathematics professor. Now, I am Dr. Sridhar, former Vice Chancellor of Dr. DKNMU University. I am just sharing my association with Professor M.S. Rangachari, and thereby you will understand why I call him as my hero and guru. I was awarded CSIR Fellowship in St. Xavier's, Palankotai, when Professor Chandrasekhar Rao started the research department, and I was the first student for him. So within 6 months, I could publish 2 papers on infinite matrix transformations under his guidance. Later on, I wanted to come to Chennai to have city exposure. In St. Xavier's, the famous professor P.R. Srinivasan, my cousin, he suggested that I should meet Professor M.S. Rangachari in Ramanujan Institute, University of Madras. So I met Professor M.S. Rangachari with my two papers. Professor M.S. Rangachari, he saw my papers and then said, Sridhar, kindly go to the library down. He was sitting in the first floor. You go to the library down and just read for about 1 hour. Routine book, real analysis, real into complex analysis. Then, after 1 hour, I met Professor Rangachari, stating that I have read the book, sir. Then he asked me simple questions on open interval and closed interval only. But he asked me to explain the concepts not simply by telling the definition. So when I explained before his students, P.N. Natarajan, Gurumurthy, Reddy, and some more, then in conclusion what he did, he just gave me a slip with a reference number. He asked me to go to the university centenary buildings and meet registrar office, get reply for his notes. Thus saying, he just went down to meet Professor K.S. Padmanabhan, the director of the institute. Then I asked a student, P.N. Natarajan, sir, what it means? He has not concluded anything, but he has given the slip to do this activity. Then Professor P.N. Natarajan, he said, Sridhar, that means he has taken you as students, that is why he has given you this work. So I came back. From that day, I became his disciple. Then I was staying in Krompet area, which is slightly far off from the Ramanujan Institute, University of Madras. So Professor M.S. Rangachari arranged a room very close to his house in Triplicane, Singarachari Street. It was very useful for me. And morning hours I used to meet him, evening hours I used to meet him. And morning before going to the institute, I used to meet him, but sometimes he will say, Sridhar, first hour my class is there, I'll do some puja and come. You just handle this Tikhonov's theorem, something like that. I used to say, sir, I have not prepared. Then he used to say, that is why I am preparing you. What a lovely way he was training me. And not only that, when I am teaching in the classroom, and the last moment she will come and sit in the last bench and observe my teaching. And later on he appreciated my teaching quality, and thereby I was continuing. Evening hours we both used to walk on the canal road. While walking also, we used to talk about mathematics. Sridhar, you are talking about the functions of bounded index, and the reverse transformation is not possible, you said. Have you got any contradiction example? Like that you used to discuss. So by discussing so, we used to come to his residence, and there he used to talk about only mathematics. It used to continue by 7:30 like that. At that time, he was hardly 41 years or 42 years with two kids, one son by name Pathasarthi, another daughter by name Bhuma. They were just less than 10 years. His better off was a beautiful mother-like lady for me, and she used to offer dosa for the dinner. She used to ask me not to go to mess. Since you are continuing discussion, take food here and go, like that. So almost she was like mother with care, utmost care for me, because she knows that I was motherless and I lost my mother when I was 5 years old. Professor M.S. Rangachari's mother was another beautiful lady, was showing affection towards me. And Professor M.S.'s kids were very nice. Sometimes they used to play with me. Today's son, Pathasarthi, is a great senior director in one of the US companies. His daughter is well settled in Chennai itself. So, this was my story with Professor M.S. Rangachari. I just continued my thesis with him from 1977 to 1980. 1980, I was selected by UPSC and posted in ONGC as Assistant Director. When I told this news to him, he said, Sridhar, here it will take another 1 or 2 years to submit your thesis. Better you join ONGC, seeing my financial position. So I joined ONGC. Later on, you can leave me, but he did not leave me. Later on, I registered with Jawaharlal Nehru University School of System and Sciences under Professor N.P. Mukherjee. He was the director of the school. When I was submitting my thesis in 1983 there, by adding some applications of summability for benchmarking IBM systems, Professor M.S. Rangachari used to come to Delhi to make my thesis with wonderful drafts, since he was very good at drafting also. Finally, in 1984, I was awarded PhD with Professor Gopalakrishna of Andhra University as internal examiner and Professor Deskin from Michigan State University as external examiner. The thesis was rated as outstanding piece, and later on, I could get postdoctoral work in Central Michigan State University, Berlin University, all based on the foundation strength what Professor M.S. Rangachari gave it to me. That is why I call him my guru. Professor M.S. Rangachari is always hero for me. Today I am 68, he may be 82, but till today Professor M.S. Rangachari is very active, sparing talks in Sanskrit College, Mylapore, on great Ramanujam, the Indian mathematician, like that. I always pray to Almighty that my Guru should live long to continue his services of helping others with humanitarian consultation. I am always grateful to Professor M.S. Rangachari. So, this story and my association with Professor M.S. Rangachari is always everlasting memory in my mind. I thought I would like to share this in the YouTube channel so that a small gratitude towards my hero, Guru, Professor M.S. Rangachari. Such great soul are really wonderful in my life. Thanks for watching this video. Watch this video, like this video, subscribe to this channel to watch many more videos like these of great personalities.